Greetings, my fellow intellectuals and bookworms. Have a little different deviance from a regularly scheduled program. Sorry for being gone so long. I was on vacation in Africa on a safari. It was awesome, and visited my grandparents to drop the dog off and pick him up. Today we will be talking about the dark history of MAPA. If you do not live in the U.S. or have no idea what that is, it stands for Motion Picture Association of America. Now, ostensibly, they're completely harmless. They just assign those little ratings you see in the corner about what the film should be rated, who should see it. G, PG, PG-13, R, technically NC-17, but that's almost never used. Ostensibly, they're perfectly innocuous. In actuality, they're evil and sinister. Alright, my criticism of them is as follows. Number one, their standard is completely arbitrary. They give essentially what the rating is based on nothing but personal opinion. And to a lot of extent, the terms they use make no fucking sense. Like, what the fuck does mild thematic elements mean? No one understands what they're saying. Another thing is there's no transparency. The people who review the films, because of how the company is working, they are completely unwilling to tell you who reviews the films. It has to remain anonymous. The criteria also has to remain anonymous. Films get arbitrary ratings for no reason. For example, Bully, the film made for middle schoolers about bullying, was given an R rating, and as a result, it couldn't reach its intended audience. And to a certain extent, their rating system seems to be, if violence, even if it's graphic and realistic, it's fine. But the second there's one sexual scene, or any curse words, all of a sudden it's bumped up, usually to a PG-13 or an R. Now, so, ostensibly, their purpose is to guide parents on what their kids can and cannot watch, or shouldn't be able to watch. In actuality, there's really no opt-out in the U.S. If your parent says you can go see an R-rated movie, if you're underage, it doesn't fucking matter because they can't let you see an R-rated movie, or at least you're not supposed to. You have to be 17 to get in without a parent or guardian. But also, it takes absolutely nothing into account, like the child's maturity level or shit like that. You know, I saw my first R-rated movie when I was 12, and it didn't hurt me, so that. In addition, here's where the sinister part comes in. Motion Picture Association of America, or as I like to call them, Major League Pussies and Assholes, was first founded as the Film Censorship Board, which was created in the early 1930s over concerns about first, declining morality, and later, communism. It was a government-owned agency whose sole purpose was to censor and basically ban films. It evolved out of the Hays Code, which, if you don't know what it is an infamous piece of legislation. Basically, it enforced morality on basically all films. Your film shows two gays kissing. Well, guess what? Your film is getting banned, and there's no way you're showing this in this country. Your film deals with interracial relations. Well, fuck you on that. Your film is getting banned. And to a certain extent, even though desegregation has ended that, a lot of what they seem to do seems to be upholding the same policy. Your film discusses social issues such as poverty and drug use. Well, I'm sorry, your film is either getting censored in the live for TV version, or it's getting a higher rating, which means less people will see it, which means less money. It's not quite as bad as when they used to ban films, but it is still unfair, and ultimately it's un-American. Censorship, to any degree, even if it's technically voluntary with this, or like the electronics art, the ESA rating for games, is still unconstitutional and should be and is basically anti-American. The First Amendment says you have the right to say whatever the fuck you want, not that you should be censored over it. So, honestly, it's fucking stupid, because parents who try to keep their kids from watching inappropriate content usually fuck up their parenting. No, one kid who was banned from watching any sort of... his parents didn't even let him watch PG movies when he was 13. He got him... By the time he was 14, he had already gotten himself drunk at a party. He had already used weed excessively, and he impregnated a girl, all because his parents wouldn't let him do anything without restricting him. So my theory is if you, as a parent, if you restrict your kids from watching movies and film, TV, and censorship from there, just basically it's a hop, skip, and a jump until your kid is a meth addict on crack who's knocked up several girls. And this is my personal experience. The kids that have been repressed the most usually end up doing the most insane behavior and have problems with it. So, as a consolation for being gone so long, I will also give you one of the regularly scheduled book reviews I was going to do. Like, comment, and subscribe on this video if you have not done so. This is Sean Hartnett, wishing you a happy rest of the day and rest of the year. Thank you.